Hoofda. Well, folks, it's finally happened. After 6 years after the second season, we have finally gotten ourselves a brand new episode of a Konosuba series-esque thing. And boy, was it worth it. Okay, so we are just kicking off the spring 2023 season. And so far, I've watched, a few of them. Most of them are coming up later in the week, like tomorrow, next week for Oshinoko. But besides Hell's Parade, this has been one of the things that I've been looking forward to since the announcement way back last year. And it brought to the table what I expected it to, presented what we're going to get, and also gave us some really deluxe animation and intro and outro-esque, not the actual songs, but just the way they closed it and opened it and performed it so well. You can tell it's obviously the same world, not even, I'm not saying not even close because it's not that far away, but not relative to the actual Konosuba. Whereas, it's more of a serious tone, but at the same time can take a joke from it. Whereas, the main series is not nearly as serious of a tone. However, it gets the job done. So when I came into this, I kind of knew what to expect because it's a backstory, but at the same time, didn't know what to expect. And watching this first episode and diving in really solidified that. So with that out of the way, let's talk about that first episode and pretty much everything we've seen, because for only being a 23-minute episode, there was so, in my opinion, so much that they packed into it. And we start off with a huge explosion magic going on in this woods, and we see Megumin witnessing it and everything going on. And out of the flames comes this sorceress, or not sorceress, I guess wizard, but comes right out of these flames, and Megumin's staring right at her. And the way she looks at her, and you've got these red sparks and flames kind of going everywhere, and you could tell how much admiration that Megumin has for her without even knowing her when seeing that magic for the first time. And after all the smoke is kind of cleared, she asks, I wonder who freed me from that seal. And we see in Megumin's hand, she's got this spherical thing that's missing a couple pieces. And granted, it wasn't really answered, but it's a pretty good hunch that that's what actually freed her from the seal. So she asks, Megumin if there's anything she wants and to not be shy about it. So, the first thing, Megumin pretty much asks her is to get bigger boobs, and she says no. And then she asks, for money, and she says no, because, she's like, I'm powerful, but I'm not that powerful. And the other one, vice versa. So right after that, she pretty much just asked her to teach her the explosion magic. And then she's like, no, you probably don't want to learn that. So then, Megumin's like, can I just help me get some crawfish then? And she's obviously selling her short. So we cut back to Megumin and her sister walking along to go home with a bucket of crawfish that they ended up catching. And that segment doesn't really get necessarily concluded or anything, but obviously from that point on, that was Megumin's number one destination, was to get explosion magic. So they are walking along, and we pass this girl looking at daisies, which is a character that we do know from the Konosuba series. That's Yun. But they obviously don't know each other that well. So she gives her that, and they head home. And they notice that their dad's finally back, which is kind of, awesome. I know that feeling's really cool. And so her little sister tackles their dad, right? And right after that, they get this, really fancy meal going on. They can both have two pieces, and they get eggs. And obviously it's a special occasion, because if you remember from the Konosuba series, their family's not the wealthiest. Well, I guess necessarily their whole village, but, their family specific to the story isn't that wealthy. So it flashes back to her father and mother, at like the merchant tents, and she's asking, and the husband's asking the mom for some tea, and she's like, that's a luxury, and you haven't sold shit, which is so true. So we see a person come by, and they've got a cloak on, and they got red underneath of them, and like the wizard chick we see in the beginning had a red mark on the top of her forehead, like a diamond. This one seems to have it below her eye. Same hair color, same eye color. So I'm almost wondering if those two are obviously connected to each other, which I don't know for sure. I've never read this, so I'm going to make a guess at the end here, but don't quote me. But she goes by their table and gets this like golden cuff bracelet, and she's really impressed with it and ends up buying it for 10,000 or whatever their currency is. And so obviously they're happy, and she's happy because the wife spins off pretty much that, you'll find the one that you most want to find with that, so they say. So the dad's all excited about this. He's like, it's probably a famous adventure, yada, yada, yada. And so they also tell Megumin that she can get a brand new school uniform instead of getting the one that's her mother's. And their moms, and her dad are like, it was cool back in the day. It was so tubular. And obviously that's so dated. So, of course, Megumin's like, ugh. And she tells everybody. She gets her new outfit on. It looks really nice on her. And she's like, I'm going to be a great master at explosion magic. And so her family just looks at her. Dad blank stare. Mom blank stare. But her little sister, little cutie, just smiles. And it's so innocent and pure, and I love it. So we flash forward to the school, and the principal's like this hippie-looking dude, and he's like about ready to read the scriptures of all these books, and everybody else just drags him away because they know like he'll just keep going and going and going and going, apparently like he did the years beforehand. And we get this kind of glimpse of all the characters in the dorm, because there's 11 of them in this class, and they all kind of introduce a little bit to each other, and Union walks up to Megumin, and she's like, you don't recognize me? Like, we're in the same village, and you don't even know my name? And of course, Megumin. She's kind of in her own land, but she declares herself Megumin's rival right off the bat, and we know that, but we get to see this all unfold. And so right after that, we get to go to class, and the teacher's talking about magic types, and of course, Megumin's like, there's no explosion magic. And the teacher's like, don't pursue explosion magic. It's a fucking joke. Which obviously is, I think, in my opinion, fuels Megumin's fire even more to become it. Because everybody tells her she can't become it. And obviously she can. But, that's how the story's going to progress. So, right after that, we see the teacher pretty much saying, trying to teach him lessons. Like, what makes magic good in our village? So Megumin says destructive power, and that gives her 50 points. And Union pretty much, what the hell did she say? Something along the lines of it being, I don't remember, either or. She got 5 points. And then after that, the other gal with the eye patch, which I feel like is going to come into play, obviously, because Megumin has her eye patch, says, looking cool, sir. And of course, she gets 100 points. And so they all pair up to kind of practice and everything. And Megumin wants to sit out, and she makes this excuse of her seal being awakened, but obviously she didn't want Union to be practicing with the teacher alone. Really nice of her. And while everybody's practicing, we get these like tulip plants that are just like chaos in a bottle, and they start running around everywhere because of the storm that's happening. So he tries to send them to all catch them, or else he's going to lose his job. And so, Megumin and Union are all covered in mud and dirt after all this. And Megumin's like, if we would have had explosion magic, this would have been done. Boom. And so Union's like, we're rivals. We're competing in magic. But I really hope you get to learn explosion magic, which is really sweet and cute. And right after that, we cut to some of the explosion magic that was happening in the beginning. And the color scheme is just intense. And we get to see this wizard, God, I keep freaking screwing that up, casting explosion magic on her other half, which is this dragon. And You know, I don't know if it's, you know, like the Konosuba movies and everything, yada, yada, yada. But I feel like it has something to do with that other girl we've seen at the market. And when she casts the explosion magic, we get to see her doing it and like as overshadow of Megumin doing it on top of her roof. And obviously Megumin's doesn't do it, but she's obviously reminiscing and she's like, I'm going to be just like that woman. And we get to the end of the scene and it just shows Megumin in the sunset. And it is just so dang tight. Like, honestly, I am so pumped. We have so much good things to look forward to. I mean, we got the Ancient Mage's Bride tomorrow. And we've got freaking, like I said, Oshinoko. And, like, just tons of other things coming out. And I'm pumped. I'm covering Demon Slayer. And I will be covering Oshinoko. And I'm going to continue covering Hell's Paradise and this season. So we're going to try to pack this out as much as I can. Hopefully get a couple opinion videos up, kind of mix it up a little bit. Been kind of in a little slump, but we're back at it now and I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. And if you didn't, well, thanks for staying this long. It means a lot to me. So this has been Squids, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.